Welcome back into the film room. I'm your host, Erik Turner. Sorry, Bills fans. Tonight we have a New York Giants special, a Giants film room highlighting some of these standout players on the Giants offense from their first preseason game, and more importantly, some of the concepts, the staple plays from Brian Daboll, the head coach of the Giants. So without further ado, let's jump into the film to take a look at the Giants offense and some of those standout plays and players from their first win, a 23-21 win against the Bills AFC East division rival, New England Patriots. All right, this is the third first down of that initial drive from the Giants. It's an RPO. It's a 17-yard gain to Collin Johnson, the wide receiver to the bottom of the screen. And this is a Brian Daboll RPO special. This is a staple in his offense. As I said, it's a two-man route concept known as D-Fast. And all it is a slant flat. The number one wide receiver, Collin Johnson, is running a 5-step slant. And then the tight end, who is in line, is running a diagonal route. So it's called D-Fast. If this was a 3-step slant, this would be called D-Slant. So there's a two-man route concept, RPO. Daniel Jones actually reading the Patriots inside defender right here. He falls into the fit just enough. You see the Patriots appear to play man coverage. Johnson runs that 5-step hezzy release, breaks inside because that DB opened his hips to the sideline. He breaks to the middle field. Daniel Jones puts it on him for 17 yards. Here it is from the end zone angle. Jones is reading this defender right here. He is the conflict defender on this RPO. You see him kind of flow right here with his gap, watching Saquon Barkley with the ball in his belly. He drifts just enough. Daniel Jones is able to set his feet and fire it in there for a really good gain. Here's a play later in the drive. It's a flood concept to the top of the screen. I wish Jones would have just threw this to Collin Johnson. Johnson had a good game. You're going to see me talk about him a lot in this breakdown. Here he is right here. I mean, this could be a touchdown if Jones throws it once he hits the top of his drop. But for some reason, Jones doesn't, and he ends up just checking it down into the flats, and it sails on that fullback and goes incomplete. But this flood pattern, I mean, it's there. That go route by Johnson, you see him put his hands up immediately. That's because the Patriots are dropping out into a Tampa 2 type coverage. So this is a too high look post snap. And if Jones throws it at the top of the drop and drops it in here, I think there's a good chance that he completes this. And, you know, he may not have the strongest arm. I mean, there's no doubt Josh Allen would have made this throw or attempted this throw. Maybe Jones doesn't trust he can get it there before this safety breaks on it. But in my opinion, if he throws this with anticipation as Johnson, his hand goes up there and Jones is about to hit the top of his drop right there, like throw it flat. Either throw it flat and throw it in a honey hole or just lead him to the end zone. Give your big wide receiver a shot. I think he would have scored on this play. And like I said, I think Johnson would have had a bigger game than he already did. With the ball spotted at the 19-yard line, the Giants get the ball to Saquon Barkley from the backfield alignment. Third down play here. Really nice option route that he converts to an out route versus the linebacker, Raekwon McMillan. And he moves the chains. And this is a play and really a player in Saquon Barkley that I'm sure Brian Daboll wish he had in Buffalo. The Bills didn't really throw to the running backs during Brian Daboll's tenure in Buffalo because they didn't really have a guy that could do some of the things that Barkley did. And so they didn't really have this advantage or mismatch opportunity, especially in the red zone. So on this play, it's a 3-by-1 nub tight end set to the bottom of the screen, but the trip set to the top, this three-man concept is known as trench. It consists of 2 in-breaking routes and then a corner route. A lot of people refer to it as double China 7. But again, the ball is going to Barkley on the option route here. Surprisingly, the Patriots are in man coverage to the nub side of the formation, and they don't execute a banjo coverage. They have Raekwon McMillan work over the top of the DB, and he gets a one-on-one with Barkley. And Barkley with a really nice speed cut there, although he almost trips. Nice speed cut there. He wins leverage. Jones puts it on him, and the Giants advance the chains. Here it is from the end zone angle. Again, McMillan, number 46 versus Barkley. Look at him attack the seam. Now he's got that two-way go, right? He can bounce it inside or bounce it outside. And when he does break out wide, It's fast. It's sudden. He creates that separation. Boom. Look at that separation. Snaps his head around, catches the ball, and gets the first down. So 3rd and 2 situation here with the ball on the 22-yard line. We're still in the first quarter, 5:44 on the clock. The Giants are up 3-0. And this is another really nice play from Collin Johnson. It's a tight alignment by all of the wide receivers, and they're going to try to space out the defense horizontally on this play, and they do. But I want you to watch the gangster release from Collin Johnson in the slot here. He has a defender pressed up on him, so he creates separation in that contact area. Look at him push off right there. That's called a gangster release.
This is a gangster release. What's a gangster release? It's a changeup. We talked about this as having different tools in our toolkit. You can't just use the same tool for every job. You can't use a hammer to screw in a screw. So you got to get a screwdriver. You need a hammer. You need a saw. You have different tools for different things. You want to change up. Whenever a defensive back walks up on you, you want to change it up. Sometimes you want to be fire and stick him. Sometimes you want to ghost him and be ice. So you want to change that up. What a gangster release is, a lot of times the defensive back is taught to be patient. They play back on their heels. And if they're on their heels, you can take both hands, thumbs in high to the sky, and just hit him right at the breastplate to get him back on his heels and then quick swim him and go by him. It's just an example. So we'll work that in practice. 2-hand shiver right to his chest plate, and then quick swim and get him by him. You got to anticipate the hands coming here. A lot of this is anticipation that has to be repped in practice. Okay? This is a two-piece move. You know, like Two-Piece Tuesday at Popeyes? This is a two-piece move. It's a shot and a quick swim. Not a big swim, a quick swim.
And he creates that separation, and he's running that whip route or return route right here back to the boundary. But I want you to watch his spatial awareness on this play, because as he pivots back out wide, look at him take a peek at McMillan. You see him take a peek at the linebacker right there, and that's because McMillan is working for width to cut off the running back who's running up the sideline right here. So Johnson doesn't want to drift into that defender. He wants to maintain the spatial discipline of this route concept of this play. So you saw him take a peek, and then he just sits and finds that soft spot. His defender is in no man's land because of that physical release, but it doesn't end there. So right now he's catching the ball at the chains. Look at him take a peek inside at Butler to kind of get an idea and evaluate the leverage and angle that Butler's going to take. And then boom, he just explodes outside, and he breaks that tackle. He drops his pad just enough to break that tackle to get more yards after the catch. Check it out from the end zone angle. Again, number 15, Collin Johnson. Physical release off the left side there. Creates that separation in the contact area. Sells the crossing route. Boom, pivots back outside. Takes a peek at McMillan. Finds that soft spot. Shows his numbers to his quarterback. Quarterback hits him. Evaluates the angle. Breaks that tackle. And gets a first down. Just a really smart play. The devil is in the details right there from Collin Johnson, a guy who plays a physical brand of football, and he showed it on Thursday night. So 3rd and 2 situation here, ball on the 33-yard line. 14:02 on the clock, top of the second quarter. Giants are now losing 7-3. And I thought another wide receiver that had a really good first half was Richie James Jr., the slot receiver, to the top of the screen right here as Tyrod Taylor calls the alert. So Tyrod got to the line of scrimmage, saw the defense, and probably got some help from the OC about what they saw on defense and called the alert and works the zone beater concept to the top of the screen. It's a 3-man combination. Everyone knows it as a spacing concept. The offense is trying to space out the defenders as they expand horizontally and then find that soft spot in the zone on this 3rd and short play. Really easy play call, really simple play call, but the details from James here over the middle of the field is just really nice to watch, especially from the end zone angle. So on the snap, he's releasing vertically, working a curl route right inside this linebacker right here. And the Patriots are actually pattern matching him and waiting for his route to develop. These two safeties and that underneath defender are working together to bracket James. So if he were to run an over route here, he would be passed off to this safety. If he were to run some type of out breaking route or deep corner out here, that deep safety to that side of the field would probably take him. But I want you to watch him work the underneath area and work that underneath defender. He gets to his curl route, but he knows that that defender's right there and he wants to find a soft spot, right? He wants to find an area right over here. He does. He pivots away from that defender, slides just a little bit. Ball is thrown hot and right at his face. He's able to catch it and get upfield for the first down. Pretty simple player, right? But again, just watch him process the leverage of that underneath defender, number 30. Watch him work away from him and become QB friendly. So here he is working up the hash here, using his eyes to sell the route. And you see him sit right down next to that defender and then just pivot away. Boom. You see him work almost like he's selling that over route. Oh, I'm curling up right here. I'm stopping right here. Nope. I'm sliding just a little bit, coming uncovered, catching the ball with his hands, and getting the first down. All right, on the very next play, the Giants get up to the line of scrimmage. They push the tempo. They run the no huddle, and they call a play action pass to Collin Johnson from the top of the screen. And he gets 17 yards, but he fumbles on this play, and the Patriots recover. But I want to talk about the formation because Dable loves to use this, especially early in the year versus zone defenses versus cover three. So with Johnson tight to the formation to the top of the screen, usually coordinators do that for a couple reasons. One is to get that extra blocker if they want to run the ball. If they want to run the ball right here, they get that extra blocker, that wide receiver, especially a big wide receiver like Collin Johnson. You get that advantage there in the box. And so more times than not, the defense is going to bring down that safety. So you're going to get a lot of single high looks like cover three, like on this play, just because you have that tight alignment with the ball in the right hash, Johnson tight to the formation. And that's what the Giants are and Dable are really playing off of here. But they run play action. They pull that left guard. And what that left guard pulling does is get the eyes and flow of this defender right here. And it opens up a really big crease here because this flats defender right here has to carry this wheel up the sideline. That's one of the rules there in this cover three look from the Patriots. So, of course, you have Johnson wide open over the middle. And it's a good play, but Terrence Mitchell, the veteran, forces the fumble, and Butler recovers for the Patriots. Brian Dable has called this crossing route that Collin Johnson is running to Stephon Diggs, Duke Williams. I mean, he's called this to about every wide receiver that has come through the Bills program the last couple years, and it's a good play. It's a well-schemed play. Again, you got that flow going this way with the pulling guard. This pulls the linebacker out of this hook to curl area. The slot defender is carrying that wheel, and then Johnson's just wide open. He's just got to hold on to the ball here. Unfortunately, he was playing against some veterans on this play. Mitchell punches it out, and the Patriots are able to take over with the recovery from Malcolm Butler. All right, halfway through the second quarter, the Giants have a 1st and 10 situation with the ball on the 45-yard line. They are still losing 7-3. And this is just another Brian Dable staple here. So ball in the right hash, tight alignment from the wide receiver, and this is what we call a free access RPO. It's not a true RPO. The quarterback isn't reading a defender. He isn't reading a conflict defender like a linebacker. He's basically taking what the defense gives him by looking at the leverage of the outside corner here. You can see he's in off coverage. And so the wide receiver has several options in his route concept and his route tree. More times than not in the Dable offense, he's either a speed out or just a stop or curl route on the numbers. On this play, the quarterback, Tyrod Taylor, sees off coverage from that corner. And again, he's not reading anyone, so he's not really executing that mesh with the running back. He sees off coverage. He sees green, as does his receiver. Quick speed out and easy yardage by Collin Johnson. So this is just, hey, I have leverage out wide. I have free access, a free release from my wide receiver with some free yardage. We're going to take it. Sort of like this play from the Titans game last year. Another option for Allen, aside from reading the box, are called free access plays. So again, it's not a true post-snap RPO. It's more of a hybrid concept, but one that Allen has in his pocket in most formations. Most coaches call these routes glance routes because a QB is taking a glance at his receiver And if he has advantageous leverage, the QB has the option to simply throw it, whether a run or RPO is called. Still in the second quarter here, 4:59 on the clock. 2nd and 2 situation. Giants still down 7-3. And they don't call it a free access RPO for no reason. I mean, if you're going to give him that free access, the offense is going to take it time and time again, especially if Brian Daboll is the offensive coordinator. You see number 34 drop to the deep half. There is no flats defender. It's an easy release from Collin Johnson. And he adjusts to the inaccurate pass from Tyrod Taylor. Free access RPOs, Giants fans, get to know them because Brian Daboll loves them. So 1st and 10 situation here, ball on the 14-yard line. Another red zone trip in the second quarter here. 4:18 on the clock. Giants still trailing 7-3. This play and the next couple plays are going to be highlights of Richie James Jr., slot receiver to the bottom of the screen, and just watch him work the middle of the field. Watch the spatial awareness as he comes out of this return route to the middle. So nice release. He has that two-way go, sells that out route, pivots back to the middle, and he has a defender draped on him. But he also realizes as he looks to the middle of the field that there's one defender helping over the middle. Look how much space he has here. He could easily have just pivoted right here, created some separation, and caught the ball and probably got tackled short of the end zone. But instead, he pivots up the field for the touchdown. That's great spatial awareness. I don't think this route was meant to attack up the field like that. I think this was meant to return to the middle of the field flat inside the 5-yard line, but just great spatial awareness from James for the touchdown. All right, 3rd and 10 situation here, ball on the 44-yard line. Right at the end of the first half, 23 seconds left on the clock. The Giants are now up 10-7. And Richie James is to the top of the screen. I want you to watch this route. The Patriots appear to drop into cover 2 man with that corner on James going into trail technique, but watch him slip the defender here. So that defender is supposed to read the hips of James here, but look at James sell this outbreaking route. Look at him look to his right, then right there look to his right, then plant with his right foot, and then break towards the numbers there. You wish Tyrod would have just threw him the ball right there, but Tyrod's looking for the home run ball right here on this post. Can't blame him, but I just really liked what I saw from Richie James. He created separation on several plays once he got into the game, regardless if he got the ball or not, and that was one of them. He was there for the taking. Instead, Tyrod drops it down to the running back, and he's able to get out of bounds after he picks up the first down. All right, final play of this breakdown, 2nd and 10 situation, ball on the 45-yard line. Still in the second quarter, 10 seconds left in the first half, and the Giants are up 10-7. And even though James is on the smaller side for wide receiver, it doesn't mean that a coordinator can't use him on the outside. And this is one way you do it. You tighten his alignment to the tight end, and you give him that two-way go to the bottom of the screen. So he's tight to alignment, then he releases outside. And now guess what? This is as if he had started in a slot. Now he has a two-way go. He can break out here, or he could break to the middle. And giving a guy like him with his shiftiness and his salesmanship as a route runner, you can get easy plays like this to the middle of the field. Look at that slant route. Unfortunately, the ball isn't delivered to him. And how much would it have mattered with 10 seconds left on the clock? I don't know. But these are the type of details that you want to study when you're watching film in the preseason. Richie James Jr. and Collin Johnson are 2 younger receivers that showed some really good details and nuance to their route running and awareness on the field for the Giants, regardless of who they were playing against on the Patriots. This is one of those plays. Good formation from the coordinator, creating that two-way go for James, and James does the rest. He creates that separation. The ball just needs to be put on him. So if you like these type of breakdowns, Giants fans, give us a follow on all of our social media platforms at Cover1. Check out our website, cover1.net. We'll be doing a bunch of these breakdowns on Brian Daboll's offense and the Giants' offense this year from time to time. So I appreciate the follow, and tell your friends about this breakdown. Show your friends this breakdown. Subscribe to the Cover1 YouTube channel. On behalf of the Film Room, I'm your host, Erik Turner, and founder of Cover One. We will see you back in the film room soon.